Oh, my dear, love is not found in grand gestures alone. It does not arrive dressed in diamonds, nor does it demand to be seen with loud declarations. No love, true love, sneaks in through the quiet space. It is felt in the hush of an unspoken understanding, in the warmth of a touch that needs no explanation, in the presence of a soul that feels like home. Men too crave love, not just in the way the world tells them they should, not just in admiration or respect, not just in desire or passion, but in something deeper, something unshakable, something that reaches beyond words and straight into the heart. A man does not simply choose to fall in love. No, love chooses him when he feels safe, when he feels that he is allowed to be more than the image the world has painted for him. He falls in love when his soul is recognized, not just his strength. He falls in love when his fears are understood, not judged. He falls in love when he is free to be himself without shame, without pretense, without the armor the world has taught him to wear. Love does not chase a man down with force. It does not demand him to surrender. It does not bind him in fear or obligation. Love, real love, calls him home, not to a place, not to a promise, but to a person. And so, my dear, if you want to understand when a man truly falls in love, you must look beyond what the world has told you, beyond the stories of conquest and pursuit. You must see the heart beneath the exterior, the longing beneath the confidence, the need beneath the strength. Because men do not fall in love simply when they desire someone. They fall in love when they are allowed to be their true selves, when they feel something they cannot find anywhere else. Now, let us walk through the moments, the emotions, the truth of when and why a truly falls in love. Let me tell you something about love. Fully, if you truly wish to understand. And there is a moment when everything changes. The love does not happen in an instant, but in a series of unspoken moments. I man's heart is not one, it is open. Let's dive deep into the truth of love. If you listen closely, you will understand the moment a man falls in love is not when you think. One, he feels safe to be vulnerable. Two, he sees that you understand his soul. Three, he feels respected without conditions. Four, he experiences love without fear or pressure. Five, he realizes he can be his truest self with you. Oh, my dear, let me tell you something about a man's heart. It is not made of steel. It is not carved from stone. It is not an unbreakable thing that stands tall against the winds of the world without ever knowing fear, pain, or doubt. No, a man's heart, just like yours, is fragile beneath the surface. It carries wounds, it carries weight, it carries the echoes of everything he was told he must be, and yet the world has trained him to hide it. From the moment a boy first opens his eyes to the world, he is taught that vulnerability is weakness, that strength means silence, that his worth is measured in what he can endure, not in what he can share. He learns to hold back his tears, to swallow his pain, to smile even when the weight of the world is crushing his spirit. He is told to be a provider, a protector, a warrior, but never a man who feels, never a man who needs. So he builds walls thick and high. He learns to show confidence instead of confusion. He learns to laugh instead of admit he is afraid. He learns to stay silent even when his heart is screaming. And with every day that passes, he carries the unspoken burden of being strong, not for himself, but for everyone around him. But, my dear, let me tell you a secret. A man does not fall in love when he desires you, when he chases you, when he is drawn to your beauty alone. No, a man truly falls in love when he feels something he has never. He falls in love when he realizes that with you, he does not need to be a warrior. He does not need to wear his armor. He does not need to be just strong. He falls in love when he feels safe to be vulnerable. Because vulnerability, my dear, is not weakness. It is truth. It is the moment a man allows you to see behind the mask he has worn his whole life. It is the moment he tells you his fears, not because he is looking for solutions, but because he trusts you enough to hold his truth without judgment. It is the moment he lets his voice shake in front of you, the moment he admits that sometimes he is tired, sometimes he is afraid, sometimes he feels like he is not enough. And that moment, my dear, that is where love begins, not in the grand gestures, not in the perfect date, not in the flowers or the gifts or the carefully chosen words. No, Love begins in the quiet, in the soft spaces where a man whispers the parts of himself that the world told him to keep hidden. Love begins when he looks into your eyes and knows that he is safe, that he can unravel without breaking, that he can be without performing. But listen to me, my dear, because this is important. A man will only allow himself to be vulnerable if he knows he will not be punished for it. He will only show you his heart if he knows that you will not use it against him. The moment he feels mocked, the moment he feels dismissed, the moment he feels that his vulnerability is a burden instead of a gift, he will retreat. He may never return. You see, the world has already given him enough reasons to hide. It has already told him that a real man does not break, does not cry, does not need. If you too make him feel that his softness is unwanted, that his fears are foolish, that his emotions are inconvenient, then you will never see the depth of his heart. He will love you, perhaps. He will admire you. He may even stay. But he will never fall, not in the way that makes a man truly yours. Because love, real love, is not about standing beside someone in their strength. It is about holding them in their weakness. It is about being the place they turn to, not just when they are victorious, but when they are lost. It is about making them feel that they do not have to have all the answers, that they do not have to carry every weight alone. And, my dear, if you can be that place, if you can be the soft space in a world that has hardened him, if you can be the quiet reassurance in the storm he has been taught to fight alone, then he will fall, not just for the season, but for a lifetime. He will love you with the kind of devotion that is not shaken by time, not broken by hardship, not threatened by distance. Because when a man finds the one person with whom he can be fully himself, he will hold on to her like a lifeline. He will cherish her like the rarest thing he has ever known. So, my dear, if you want to know when a man truly falls in love, do not look at how he acts when he is at his best. Do not measure his love by his strength, by his laughter, by his confidence. Instead, look at how he crumbles before you. Look at how he trusts you with the pieces of himself that he has never shown anyone else. Look at how he lets you into the quietest corners of his heart. Because that, my dear, is where love is born. Not in perfection, not in power, but in the beautiful, fragile, breathtaking moment when a man looks at you and knows, without a doubt, that he is safe to be himself. A man may walk through this world with a steady stride, with a strong presence, with a mind that seems focused on where he's going. He may carry himself with the confidence of someone who has it all figured out, but my dear, listen to me. There is more to him than what the world sees. There is a depth within him that few people ever truly recognize. You see, a man is not just the sum of his achievements. He is not just his strength, his ambitions, or his responsibility. He is not just the provider, the protector, the leader that society has told him he must be. No, beneath all of that, beneath the titles, the labels, the expectation, there is a soul that longs to be understood. A man does not fall in love simply because you admire him. He does not give his heart just because you find him attractive, because you praise his success, because you see his greatness. No, my dear, a man falls in love when he feels seen, not for what he does, but for who he is. There is a difference between seeing a man and truly understanding him. Anyone can look at him and recognize his strength. Anyone can watch him succeed and offer words of admiration. But understanding rare, something sacred, something that reaches beyond the surface and touches the very core of his being. When a man meets a woman who understands his soul, he feels something he has never felt before. He feels home. Because you see, the world only celebrates the parts of him that are visible. The world praises his ability to succeed, to stand tall, to carry burdens without complaint. But the world does not stop to ask him who he really is beneath all of that. It does not ask him what keeps him up at night. It does not ask him what he dreams of when he allows himself to imagine a life beyond duty and expectation. But you, my dear, if you are the one who looks at him and sees, if you are the one who listens, not just to his words, but to the silence between them, If you are the one who pays attention to the way his eyes soften when he talks about something that truly matters to him, then you are different. You are not just another admirer. You are not just another person who sees his image but fails to notice his heart. When he talks about his past, do you hear more than just the stories? Do you hear the pain he does not say, the dreams he left behind, the battles he fought in silence? When he shares his passions, do you encourage them? Not because they are impressive, but because they matter to him? When he expresses his fears, do you dismiss them or do you sit with them, making space for him to be human? A man falls in love when he feels that he does not have to explain himself over and over again, because you already know. He falls in love when he realizes that you see his flaws and do not judge him for them, that you see his struggles and do not make him feel weak because of them. He falls in love when he recognizes that, for the first time in his life, he does not have to wear a mask. But, my dear, let me tell you something. Understanding a man's soul is not the same as trying to fix him. It is not about rescuing him. It is not about making him into something he is not. No, it is about standing beside him and showing him that he is enough as he is, with all his imperfections, with all his unfinished dreams, with all the things he is still trying to figure out. You see, men are often taught that they must earn love, that they must prove themselves, that they must be a certain way, achieve certain things, become a certain kind of person before they are worthy of being truly loved. But love, real love, does not wait for perfection. Love says, I see you, I understand you, and I love you, not for what you do, but for who you are. And when a man feels that, when he realizes that he does not have to perform, that he does not have to hide, that he does not have to be anything other than himself. Not in the way the world tells him to, not in the way that is fleeting, shallow, or temporary. No, he falls in the way that changes everything, in the way that makes him look at you and see not just a partner, not just a lover, but a soulmate. The one who understands him in ways no one else ever has. So, my dear, if you want to know when a man truly falls in love, look beyond his words, beyond his actions, beyond what the world sees. Pay attention to what he does not say, to the moments he hesitates before speaking, to the things he only shares when he feels truly safe. Because when a man finds someone who understands his soul, he does not just love them, he chooses them again and again for a lifetime. A man can walk through fire for love, but he will only stay where he is respected. He will give his time, his energy, his devotion. But if he feels that respect is missing, no amount of love can make him stay. You see, my dear, love may bring two people together, but respect is what keeps them there. All right. From the time a boy becomes a man, the world teaches him to chase success, to build, to provide, to lead. He is measured by what he can do, achieve, what he can offer. And so he spends his life proving himself to his family, to his peers, to his own reflection in the mirror. He fights battles that no one sees, carries burdens that no one acknowledges, and keeps moving forward because that is what he was taught to do. But beneath all that strength, all that determination, there is something deeper, something quieter, something he does not always speak about. His need to be respected, not just for what he can give, not just for how well he can provide, but for who he is at his core. A man falls in love when he feels that his soul is valued, not just his successes. He falls in love when he is respected not for what he does, but for the man he is. When he realizes that he does not have to keep proving himself over and over just to be worthy of love, something shifts inside him. He lets go of the weight he has carried for so long. He stops running, stops chasing, stops feeling like he is only as good as his last achievement. And in that moment, he falls. But, my dear, let me tell you something. Respect is not just a word. It is not just something you say, it is something you show. A man knows when he is truly respected. He feels it in the way you speak to him, in the way you listen when he talks, in the way you acknowledge his efforts even when they are small. He feels it in the way you trust his judgment, in the way you believe in his abilities, in the way you stand beside him, not just in times of success, but in times of failure.
Because you see, respect is not just about admiration when things are going well.
Anyone can respect a man when he is winning, when he is confident, when he is at the top of his game. But real respect, the kind that makes a man fall in love, is the kind that remains even when he doubts himself, even when life brings him to his knees. A man falls in love when he realizes that he does not have to hide his struggles from you. When he sees that you do not lose respect for him just because he has a hard day, just because he is uncertain, just because he does not always have all the answers. He falls in love when he feels that you trust him, that you believe in his ability to figure things out, that you see him as a leader even when he is still finding his way. But, my dear, let me also tell you what respect is not control. It is not demanding that a man be a certain way to earn your approval. It is not using words to tear him down when you are angry, making him feel small just to prove a point. It is not belittling his dreams, second guessing his choices, or making him feel like nothing he does is ever good enough. Cause the moment a man feels disrespected, the moment he feels that his voice does not matter, that his effort is overlooked, that he is not valued as a man, he will begin to pull away. He may not say it out loud. He may not even fully understand why, but something inside him will change. His heart will start to close little by little until one day he is no longer there, not emotionally, not mentally, not in the way that truly matters. A man falls in love when he feels that he can be both strong and human with you. When he knows that his victories will be celebrated, but his struggles will not be used against him. When he feels that he does not have to be perfect to be worthy of your love. And when he finds that kind of respect, my dear, he will give you something even greater in return, his devotion. Because a man who feels truly respected will go to the ends of the earth for the woman who honors him, who believes in him, who sees him as enough, just as he is. Ah, love, the very essence of life, the feeling that can sweep you off your feet, make your heart race, and flood your soul with joy. But my dear, do you know what makes love even more beautiful? When it is experienced without fear, without pressure, without the weight of expectations that can choke its form. For you see, a man does not fall in love when he feels cornered, when he feels obligated, when he feels that love is a burden he must carry.
He falls in love when he can breathe freely in it, when he can surrender his heart without fearing that it will be used against him, when he knows that love is not a trap but a gift. A man, like all human beings, wants to love freely with joy, with hope, with trust.
He wants to give himself to someone who does not place unrealistic demands upon him. He wants a love that nurtures him, that encourages him to be his best self without constantly reminding him of his shortcomings. Love for him must be a place where he can rest, where he does not have to worry about making mistakes, about being perfect, about living up to impossible standards. And when he finds that, my dear, when he realizes that the love you offer him is free from conditions, free from manipulation, free from pressure, his heart will open in ways you never imagined possible. You see, a man, at his core, is just like any other person. He wants to feel loved for who he is, not for what he can give or what he can do. He wants to know that he is enough just as he is, with all of his flaws, all of his fears, and all of his scars. And he will fall in love when he feels that kind of love from you. A love that does not demand, but simply is. A love that accepts him not because he is perfect, but because you choose to love him for his imperfect, beautiful soul. But there is a catch, my dear. Many people, both men and women, enter relationships carrying their fear. Fears of being hurt, of being abandoned, of being betrayed. We carry the pressure of needing to meet each other's expectations, of needing to be something they are not, of needing to act in a way that'll make them loved or accepted. It cannot flourish when there is constant tension, constant worry, constant doubt. For love to grow, both partners must feel free to be vulnerable, free to be themselves without the weight of needing to perform. A man will fall in love when he realizes that he can simply be. When he knows that he does not have to guard his heart at every turn, when he does not have to second guess your motives, when he does not have to worry about being judged for his mistakes. He will fall in love when he understands that you do not view him as an object to be molded into your perfect vision of what he should be. Instead, you see him as a whole person, someone who has worth simply because he exists, not because he has achieved anything, not because he has lived up to a list of requirements. In this space, in this kind of love, there is no fear. There is no game playing, no manipulation, no hidden agendas. There is only trust. There is only respect. There is only the quiet understanding that you are both in this together, that you will both grow, both make mistakes, both experience joy and sorrow. But in it all, you will not be judged. You will not be made to feel that you are not enough, that you are unworthy. You must change to fit a mold that someone else has created for you. It is when a man feels that freedom, when he feels that he can truly be himself in your presence, that his heart begins to soften. He will give you the parts of himself that he has kept hidden from the world, his fears, his dreams, his doubts, and his deepest desires. It will show you who he is, not the version he thinks you want to see, but the real unguarded version of himself. And when he does this, when he opens up to you in a way that is raw, vulnerable, and genuine, he is giving you something precious. And in that moment, something shifts inside him. He falls. Not because he is afraid to lose you, not because he is bound by obligation, but because he finally understands that love can be free. Love can be something that feels like coming home. But what if fear and pressure still linger even when the love is real? What if past hurts, past relationships, or past betrayals have taught him to be guarded? My dear, even in these cases, love can still flourish, but only when you show him patience. Only when you allow him the space to heal, to open up at his own pace without forcing him to be someone he is not ready to be. Because love that is forced is not love at all. It is an expectation, and love cannot thrive in the shadow of expectation. True love, the kind that a man falls into, is the kind that does not rush, does not pressure, does not demand. It is the kind of love that flows freely, effortlessly, where both partners are free to be themselves, free to be imperfect, free to make mistakes, and free to love each other for who they truly are. And when a man feels this kind of love, when he feels that the love you offer is without pressure, without fear, without conditions, he will fall. He will fall because he knows he is loved for who he is, not for what he can give. He will fall because in your arms he has found the kind of peace that the world has never offered him. He will fall because for the first time he has discovered that love is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced fully and without reservation. So, my dear, if you want to know when a man truly falls in love, watch for the moments when he no longer feels the weight of expectation. Watch for the times when he no longer feels that he has to prove himself, when he can simply be. Because in those moments, love is no longer a game, it is a gift. And in that space, a man will fall. He will fall for you, for the person who has shown him that love does not have to be a pressure filled, fearful thing. It can simply be a place of freedom, a place where he is seen, accepted, and cherished. And in that place, love blooms. A man will fall in love when he discovers a connection with you that runs deeper than physical attraction or surface level compatibility. He will fall when he senses that there is a profound emotional bond that links his heart to yours, one that transcends ordinary conversation, one that touches the very core of his being. Love is not built on the shallow and the superficial. It is not founded on the thrill of a fleeting moment or the charm of a brief encounter. Love is rooted in the emotional connection two souls share when they begin to understand each other on a level far beyond the visible, far beyond what others can see. You see, the emotions of a man often remain locked away behind walls that he has built over the years. Life teaches him to be strong, to be composed, to show the world a version of himself that is unaffected, untouchable, and self sufficient. But beneath this tough exterior, there exists a heart that is capable of deep feelings, feelings that are often silenced or hidden in the shadows. Men, just like women, have emotions that yearn to be expressed, to be understood and to be loved in a way that allows them to be vulnerable without fear. And when a man finds someone who can connect with him on that deep emotional level, who can see past the mask he wears for the world, who can recognize the quiet yearnings of his soul, that is when he falls in love. A deep emotional connection is not something that happens overnight. It is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It is the product of time, of shared experiences, of the quiet moments where two people open their hearts to one another without hesitation. It is built in the unspoken moments when you look into each other's eyes and understand exactly what the other person is feeling. It is forged in the late night conversations that allow you both to share your fears, your dreams, your past, and your hopes for the future. It is in the laughter that arises from inside jokes, in the support you give each other when life gets hard, and in the comfort you provide when the world feels too heavy. When a man feels this deep emotional connection, he no longer sees you as someone to impress or to win over. He sees you as his equal, his partner, someone who understands the deepest parts of him. He realizes that you are not just someone he enjoys spending time with. You are someone he can trust with his vulnerabilities, someone he can share his darkest thoughts and his most tender feelings with. This emotional connection allows him to open up in ways that he may not have done with anyone else. He may find himself sharing things he has never told anyone, secrets he has kept hidden for years, parts of himself that he has kept locked away for fear of being judged or misunderstood. With you, he no longer feels the need to hide. He no longer feels the pressure to maintain a perfect image. You see him for who he truly is, not the persona he has created to survive in the world. This deep emotional connection also allows for the kind of intimacy that goes beyond. A man falls in love when he feels emotionally safe enough with you to allow that vulnerability to flourish. He begins to trust you not only with his heart, but with his entire self, the parts of him that he may have thought were unworthy of love, the pieces of him that are imperfect and broken. When he feels safe with you, he opens up emotionally, and this emotional connection is what binds him to you in a way that nothing else can. But my dear, do not mistake emotional connection for emotional dependency. There is a vast difference between the two. A deep emotional connection allows a man to feel seen, heard, and understood, but it also allows him to feel independent, to have space to grow, to have the freedom to explore who he is beyond the relationship. Emotional dependency, on the other hand, is when one person relies on the other to fill a void within themselves. Emotional connection should be an empowering force, not a source of control or manipulation. True love thrives on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and understanding, where both individuals feel free to grow and evolve together while remaining secure in the bond they share. A man also falls in love when he feels that his emotional needs are being met in a way that brings him peace and fulfillment. When he finds a woman who is not afraid to meet him where he is emotionally, who is patient enough to listen without judgment, and who is compassionate enough to understand him even when he cannot fully explain himself, he knows that he has found something rare and precious. This emotional connection allows him to feel not just loved, but truly understood. It helps him feel as if he can truly be himself without fear of rejection or criticism. A deep emotional connection also creates a sense of security. When a man feels emotionally connected to you, he knows that he can rely on you, that you are there for him not just when things are easy, but especially when they are difficult. You are the one who will stand by his side, who will support him when he falters, and who will offer him encouragement when he doubts himself. This sense of emotional security is something that all humans long for, but it is something that often eludes us in a world that values independence over intimacy. When a man feels emotionally secure in a relationship, he no longer fears the vulnerability that love requires. Instead, he embraces it, knowing that it is the key to the depth of the bond you share. And when this emotional connection is strong, when it is nurtured and cared for, it becomes a force that binds you both together in ways that nothing else can. It strengthens the foundation of your relationship, allowing you to weather any storm that may come your way. You become partners, not just in love, but in life. You grow together, evolve together, and create a future together. And this, my dear, is the beauty of love. It is not just about the moments of passion, the moments of excitement. It is about the quiet, enduring bond that exists between two people who are willing to open their hearts and share their souls with each other. When a man feels this kind of emotional connection, it changes him. It transforms his understanding of love, of partnership, and of what it means to be truly seen and valued. He begins to see love not as something fleeting or conditional, but as something profound and lasting. And in that moment, he falls. He falls for you, for the connection that you share, for the depth of the bond you have created together. He falls because he knows that in you, he has found a partner who sees him, who understands him, and who loves him for the person he truly is. This emotional connection is what makes love not only possible, but inevitable. It is what turns affection into a lasting, meaningful bond. It is what transforms a fleeting attraction into something that will stand the test of. A man falls in love not because of grand gestures or surface level attraction, but when he feels safe enough to be vulnerable, understood at his deepest core, respected unconditionally, embraced by a love that comes without fear or pressure. Ultimately, he falls in love when he discovers a profound emotional connection, a bond that celebrates his true self and nurtures his soul. In that sacred space of mutual understanding and respect, love blossoms and transforms both hearts, creating a partnership that endures beyond life's fleeting moments.